I want to change lives. I want to show people how to progress in their money. I want to show people how to progress in their mindset. I want to show people how to progress in their brand so that way they can take care of their family, take care of their finances, and experience freedom.
Welcome back to the Smart Woman Show. Hello, Andy Audate in the house. I don't know why I decided to introduce the show like I was in an arena or something, but I'm just feeling you. I'm feeling you this morning.
That's how it's got to be. Why not? Why not introduce the show just like that, man? I was at an event and they had I think his name was Bruce, a UFC world champ, the person that interviews and brings in all the fighters, Conor McGregor and all the fighters, and he was the one introducing all the speakers. And I said, man, that energy is what set the tone for the rest of the event. So this energy is what sets the tone for the rest of the podcast.
Woo-hoo! Let's rock and roll. I love it. Okay, so we're talking about fighters. I have 2 pages. I was taking notes. I was watching you have so much stuff online. I was taking notes. You're just everything you say, it's one-liner after one-liner after one-liner. And my favorite thing that you said was the very first thing that I wrote down. And that was, success is inevitable if you know the formula. Boom! No big deal. Okay, so, and you got to share the formula.
I can only share a little bit about it, a little bit of it. can't give it all away. Plus, honestly, it's one of those things where you're trying to cram. It's hard. How hard would it be to cram from first grade to 12th grade in either a podcast or first grade to 12th grade in a one-day seminar, or first year to 12th year in a 7-week training? It's nearly impossible to do all that.
It's nearly impossible. I wish you could see his face right now. He's looking at me he's so sincere about what he's saying. It's nearly impossible. And you're right, it is. Okay, so
yeah, because people, but the thing is, Tara, people want that so bad, and I'm like, damn, you want to know, and it's small adjustments. It's all it is. I was at the gun range. I'm a gun owner, so I have my case here and stuff like that. And I'm shooting my weapon, and this was a date, by the way. So the girl is with me, and we're shooting the weapon, and I shoot at the head. I'm shooting at the guy's head. Now, I've shot guns I own one for a while now. I'm shooting at the head, and I'm like, bang, 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 bang. And then we bring back the target, and the target, where all the holes are, is to the left of the head. I missed the head completely. It's to the left of the head. And I'm like, man, I was off by literally 1 degree, 1 centimeter. That would have been the aim on point. So I'm teaching her how to shoot, and I'm saying, look, you got to continue to practice and perfect the craft of the game. So that's what I believe success is, where it's I'm doing exactly what he's doing. I look at him, he has his stance, he has the gun in his hand a certain way, he has the trigger out. I'm doing everything that he's doing, but we're off by 1 degree. We missed the mark by 1 degree.
How did that date go?
I'm amazing. Amazing.
I'm sorry. I was listening, Andy, but all I could think about was this girl watching you go bang, 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 bang.
Oh,
okay,
man.
So what? Okay, so you missed your mark.
It was an amazing experience.
Okay, so you missed your mark, and what I'm really hearing you say, which I've already heard you say, so I know you're saying this, is you've got to commit yourself to mastery.
Yes, man, you on it. Yeah, you got to commit yourself to mastery, and I think that's what the difference between the two is. And I think what you saw was something that I recently promoted with Kobe Bryant, and I recognize that, especially studying Kobe, studying the understanding, is that when you look at Kobe Bryant and success, and you see him shooting, I think what a lot of people fail is that they see people in the game and they try to duplicate what they did in the game. And recognizing that Kobe has that 1 degree of an advantage, similar to how I shot the gun, has that 1 degree of advantage versus another person. Why? Because of that practice that he had to recognize that, hey, at this specific centimeter, and he can't calculate it in his brain, but at this specific centimeter, let go of the pressure, and the ball will take its toll, and then go in the hoop. And you do that so many times that, hey, I know at this point I stop. Like for me, I like when I shoot, for some reason, when I kick my right leg out, I don't know the balance. I go backwards a little bit, and I have just enough pressure to shoot the ball, and it always goes in. So you got to commit yourself to mastery. Have that understanding that you got to continually practice, and that's what makes success inevitable. That's the formula. That's part of the formula.
And it sounds also like your shot to any of it doesn't have to be even a pro baller, but just anybody else's shot is different because it's different for you. And so there's no point in you taking a look at your friend's shot and trying to compare yourself, saying, well, he does it that way, I'm going to try it that way. You just got to do what's true to you, right?
Yeah.
What's true to your shot.
So let's bring it down to like a technical or tactical understanding. There is what I've discovered is, and you have as well, Tara, and whether it's conscious or subconscious, that there is literally a formula for success. Mm-hmm. Like for example, in the sales call, prior to this podcast, I was on a call with my senior marketing manager, and we were changing the script in the sales guide for our sales call. And I was sharing that, hey, before a presentation is done, these things have to be checked off. It doesn't matter how it's checked off. It could be done in an email. It could be done in a text message. It could be done on the call. But these things have to get checked off. The customer must know, like, and trust Andy Audate, the brand, before we do a presentation, before you present the solution. And the customer must know, like, and trust the brand. So how do we get the person to know the brand? It can be done on a call. So there is a formula. There is like a system to follow. And I think where you add your pizzazz is on your personality.
So one thing that I found interesting about you, I mean, you're very like, you don't give a crap, right? Like that's just who you are. And so this is the Smart Woman show, and women just have a tendency to give a crap about what everybody thinks. I don't know why we're that way, but we care a lot about what people think. And one thing that I found interesting on your Instagram is that you talk a lot about God, and you talk a lot about your faith, and you actually even go as far to use scripture to back you up. And I'm wondering, just for the woman listening who may be struggling with, should I really talk about God in my business, or is it going to turn people off, right? Because that's a conversation that's out there. Like, because of all this political correctness that we've got to be under all the time, this pressure to say the right thing all the time, how did you give yourself permission to just like be open about your faith?
Well, Tara, first and foremost, I acknowledge you with what you're doing with the show and the influence that you have and the impact that you have for just women as a group, and you being a thought leader and an influencer for women. I think 2020 is the year of the woman. And the reason I say that is I'm recognizing that, especially in the industry of business, in the industry of entrepreneurship, women have been underserved, underprivileged, and there's lack of opportunities for women. And I think this is the time where women are heavily investing into themselves, into their growth, and now at a time where I'm starting to see them truly take more action than the past. So I acknowledge you for creating this show for the smart woman. And for the women, this is my message for the women, that there's a group of people that are subtly, how do I say this, believing similar beliefs that you have. So there's the commoners. There's what's common, what's known, what's average. And that's what I talk about in the book, No More Average. So there's what's average and what's known. So it could be, you can't talk about God. You have to talk about money, and things of that nature. And there's a group of women, or there's a group of men who are saying, hey, I recognize that's common, but I don't necessarily believe in that. I don't actually, and I'm scared to share my belief. Mm-hmm. What the commoners, what the average people or the masses are looking for is I'm looking for someone to follow that has a similar beliefs that I do.
Mm-hmm.
So it's when we understand that I'm not trying to hit everybody. Not every single person knows who Donald Trump is. 7.8 billion people don't know Donald Trump. A large percentage do, but that's because he runs the free world. But even in your space, when you're trying to become successful in your space, you don't necessarily need every single person in the world. But here's the kicker. That's a good target for you mentally in your marketing strategy, yes. Where you're saying, hey, I need to get the whole world. More people, not people in California, I need to get the whole world to know me. That's a great idea in your marketing strategy. But realistically, only a certain percentage of the people are going to follow you. Now, here's the thing. I would rather have, and this is just, you talk to any multi-millionaire or billionaire, the mindset is very equivalent. I would rather have 1,000 people who know Andy Audate, love Andy Audate, trust Andy Audate, spend money with Andy Audate, than have 2,000 people heard of me one time.
Mm-hmm.
Now, how do I get that 1,000 people to know, love, and trust and invest with Andy Audate? I share the belief that everyone else is like, oh, this is taboo, this is bad. And that 1,000 people say, yo, I actually feel the same way that this dude feels. And I just felt so scared to share. So the women who's listening, who's saying, I have this belief that goes against society, I have this belief that goes against the norm, take action on sharing that with the entire fucking world. Why? Because there's a group of people that's saying like, yo, I feel Tara. Oh my gosh, like I don't like those people. Let me tell you, Tara, I was in Dallas, Texas. I host seminars throughout the country. So I held a 2-city tour in Dallas and in Houston, the Progression Conference, which is a one-day business training seminar where I teach people sales, marketing, and personal development. And we had a VIP dinner for the people who had purchased products and got VIP. And I asked someone, I said, so tell me, like, where have you gotten your personal development from? Like, is it Tony Robbins? And they're like, I don't know who Tony Robbins is. I was like, okay. Is it like Grant Cardone? I don't know. Is it Lisa Nichols? Who do you listen to? I don't know who those people are. I'm like, who do you go to? Like, I just know you, Andy.
Wow.
I said, damn, like I only been in this business for 2 years. I'm 24 years old. I said, how do you, everyone in this room is older than me. I don't understand. How is it me? Well, I just connect with you. Like you come from an impoverished area like I do. And for you to make it out and live the life that you do, like I'm so inspired. And the mindset that you have, like the fact that you got up on stage and you shared your belief about God, the fact that you got up on stage and you brought up an elder to pray before the event, and that mindset, like I like you, I don't know about those other people that you were talking about. And I'm in my head, I'm like, I thought I wasn't enough. So I think actually that's where a lot of women come from, and I've seen that a lot, where I'm not enough, I'm not worthy, and they suppress themselves. But it's only self-suppression. I think when you own your power, there's a tribe of people who are suddenly going to come out the closet too, or the closet of success, and like, oh shit, like I like that person, I'm going to follow that person. That person that comes out of the dirt and like, oh shit, like that belief, I like that belief. And that's who you're looking for. You're not looking for the 2,000 who just like, I knew him once. You're looking for the 1,000 that says, yo, I love you. I need you. I want you. You drive me forward.
You got the spirit in you, my friend. You got the spirit in you. Were you going to be, I mean, I heard that people are relating to you because of your history. And I was wondering, when I was doing my research on you, I thought, man, this guy's got a story. And I couldn't find your story. And I know if I would have digged longer, I would have found it. But were you set up to be average, or even maybe below average, statistically speaking, with the way that you were brought up and the circumstances that you were given?
So one of the reasons why you can't find my story, Tara, or it's challenging too, is my personal, like, I disconnected myself. I was hurt. So I want you to, especially from a woman's point of view, I'm coming from the position of being a single bachelor who has dated women in the past, and recognizing that there was a common theme with if I'm hurt one of the responses that I have is to disconnect myself. So I'm coming from a woman. So this is a Smart Woman show. Majority of your listeners are women.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to connect and share like a point of view of that. Let's say that you're hurt from a man hurts you. One of the things that you might do at some point is say, I emotionally detach myself and I'm over him. So what I did was just that in my history where I emotionally detached myself from my past. And for a long time, it wasn't until last year I did a podcast where the dude was from the podcast host was from a similar environment that I was from, and he was intrigued. And let's just say the environment that I come from, I have friends who are in jail, who are in prison for the rest of their life. I know murderers, I know drug dealers. I was a drug dealer. Blood stained the floor. People are chasing my family members with guns, and it's a process. I'm scared that a bullet is gonna hit my window. I'm always looking over my shoulder. I've seen people get jumped. I've seen people get hurt. I've seen bad shit essentially, and I was always in protection mode, protection of myself, protection of my environment, and scarcity. That's the environment that I come from. And what I did was when I moved to California, as soon as I literally touched base in California, I said, forget everything. I emotionally detached myself from my past as much as I possibly could. Now, some of my mannerisms stayed. Some of my the way that I connect with people stayed. Some of the way I thought about people stayed. And some of my aggression stayed. But my philosophy or my mindset about the past, I left it. Then I did this podcast with somebody. He's trying to dig in, and I'm like, God, I don't want to go there, bro. Like, and you can see, like, I remember I was feeling so uncomfortable. I was like, bro, I don't want to go there. Like let's talk about like the successes, man. Like he's like, but people want to see that. People, and then I remember he allowed me to share, and then I started crying on the podcast. I started crying, and I'm like, bro, I don't know why the fuck I'm crying, bro, but this is. So it took me a long time to allow myself to share. And there's so many stories that I've literally stuffed so down that I haven't even shared. And I just started sharing recently about like where does Andy Audate come from?
Wow. Thank you so much for just like being vulnerable enough to share that. I'm not going to dig on you right now because that's not what this is about. But I just want to like honor and respect you right now and just say, first of all, thank you for your service to the world, because I believe that everybody has a medicine, men and women. They have a medicine inside their heart that God put there, and it's unique to each and every one of us. And it's specific to healing our little portion of the world. And you're using your medicine.
Yeah.
And that is just, you know, we all have our stuff, right? And man, I'm so honored to even get to know you. So to wrap all that up, you could have chose to become a statistic. You could have chose to be less than average. You probably would be in jail right now. And you chose to shine. You chose to give yourself permission to do that. And I'd love to know the moment that you chose that.
Well, the moment that I chose that was I wanted something bigger. I was at 19 years old. Someone who believed in me suggested that I open up a cell phone store. So I opened up a cell phone. No, okay. Let's backtrack. Let's backtrack. Currently 25. So a lot of things started in the last 10 years. So let's talk about the last 10 years. What has amounted, but now some point in time where if we look at a 15-year time span, usually what happened is people have a trend of life where they slowly progress, right? What happened with me was this, okay? And then it's still going up right now. And so in the last since 2014 to now, last 5 years has been a period of affluence in business where it was an affluent growth. And so 16 introduced to 15 introduced to drugs. Someone showed me marijuana and the money behind marijuana. 16 got into it. 17 constantly freaked out. People getting guns pulled out, constantly freaked out, scared as hell all the time. My dad showed me a way out. I went to private school, so I had that foundation. So I went to private school, God-fearing parents, always praying for me. Something happens, I get out. I get out of that lifestyle. I get a job at Wendy's. I'm not making any money at Wendy's. I start flipping cell phones. I'm flipping cell phones in high school. I have a hustler's mentality already. But I start flipping cell phones in high school. I realized that there's only so much I can do with cell phones. Like I'm talking about, I get a phone, a cheap phone, put it in a box, clean it up, sell it for $50 more, and I do that enough. 10 phones a week for $100, $2,000 to a kid in high school. That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
Then I said to myself, hey, I need a clean job. Where I was working at Wendy's at the time. Got a job working at Wendy's. I needed a clean job because I always do my French fries. Started working at a retail outlet selling clothes. They gave me the opportunity to work to choose my hours. Why? Because I was producing results in the giveaway of cards, membership cards. And the more you give away, the more numbers goes up for the stores in the region. So I was the reason my store was number one. And I was just like, I'm giving stuff away for free. That doesn't make sense. But I knew that production meant freedom. When I produce, I get freedom. So I produced in the giveaway of the cards when other people were like, hey, do you want one? No, yes or no? I was like, yo, I'm putting this in your bag. Take that. All I need is your email. And I do the rest. So I hit the target. Then they say, hey, what hours do you want? I said, give me all of Sunday because that's time and a half. So give me all of Sunday hours, time and a half. And I realized production equals a freedom. So I get a job working at cell phones. I work at a cell phone store, 18. I get the manager role. And I see a black guy walking one day. And I'm like, who the fuck is this? Like, is he robbing our store? Like a black guy with earrings. He's bald in a suit. But I'm like, my manager's white. His boss is white. The regional's white. And I said, I didn't know who the owner was, but the black guy walks in. I go to the office manager. She actually looks like you a little bit. And I go to the office manager and I'm like, hey, who's that black guy? He said, that's the owner. I said, that's the owner? You're talking about a black guy is the owner of the store? Like, I didn't even know people like me can own businesses.
Unbelievable.
So my mind opens. At 19, someone believes in me, opens up a cell phone store. I open up a cell phone store. First 6 months, challenging, but I made my first $100,000. Within 18 months, I made my first $1 million. Now, towards the end of that 18 months run, what happened was I'm at a gas station and I'm constantly driving new cars. Every week I have a new car. So I think I had an Audi at this time or something of that nature. And I pull into the gas station. Now we're in an urban environment. Like the Audi is known. Like you see an Audi, it's like you see it through the city. Like it's not like California where it's like, oh, is it Mercedes-Benz here, Porsche here? It's like over there, it's like, you have an Audi? Like, yeah, everyone knows. So I'm driving this Audi. I pull up, pump gas, and I see someone on the other side of the stall who was from high school. Now I know his friend. His friend was just went to prison. His friend just went to prison for murder. A couple weeks prior, another friend went to prison for taking out a gun and waving at people on the streets. So I know what gang he also bangs with. And so I said, "What's up, man?" And like we were cool. Like we did sports in high school together. Like we were cool. And he said, "Hey, man, I see you up now, huh?" And essentially what that means is that I see that you've reached another financial level, to put in labels terms. So I see you up now, huh? And I'm like, I'm just chilling, man, doing my thing. So I try to brush off the acknowledgement of my financial successes. So I brush it off. I'm saying, I'm just doing my thing, man. I'm just doing my thing. And he's like, nah, I see that you got people working for you, because I had 14 employees by this time. To make that type of money, I had 14 people working for me, and I hired people from school, from my high school. And he said, nah, I see you got people from the school working for you, man. I see you up. Nah, I see you, baby. I see you. All right, man. I catch you around. And he got into his car. Now, I catch you around. What that means is that, hey, man, I see you up, and I'm interested in what you have. And to me, I know what the result is. That it means someone's going to catch a lick. And to catch a lick means that I'm going to rob you. I'm going to take what I want. And I said, yo, I need to get out of here. Like, if I do anything, I need to leave. So I went to my best friend. I said, yo, Peso. I said, yo, bro. Nickname is Peso. I said, yo, bro. let's move. He said, where you want to go? I said, bro, I don't know. How does this guy get out of here? He said, like, where though? I'm thinking, okay, Phoenix, Miami. I said, Los Angeles, bro. Los Angeles. Go to LA. What's in LA? I said, I don't have no clue, bro. I got no clue. I just heard about Beverly Hills and Hollywood on TV, man. Let's go to LA. Took me 86 days, kept on flipping cars, 86 days. I closed down all the businesses, transitioned all the employees to new companies, and I took the money, left, came to California, said, hey, yo, I want to become a speaker where I change people's lives. Like, my goal in running the business cell phone store was, it was going to be a filtration system where all the people that came in my business were going to learn about personal development. So these people are working for me. I teach them personal development. And then I would literally change my entire block. That's what my thought process. I'm thinking this is an 18-year-old thought. Like, how do I change my hood? And that didn't work because it was too slow. Then when I came to California, I still had that mindset. So what I did was I wrote a book specifically for my hood. Like, I didn't even write this to become a speaker. I didn't write this to become a best-selling author. I didn't give no, like, you see the energy, like, who I'm trying to attract here, right? Like, you see, like, but the boss thing was a point that I was trying to make. So this wasn't for, like, you know, corporate America or something. This is for, like, the streets. And when I wrote the book for my people, the reason I wrote it was because I felt like I was talking too much. I was talking, trying to change people's mindset and understanding, and it was going in one ear out the other. So I said, listen, I get it. When you're ready, pick up the book. Put it on your shelf. When you're ready, pick up the book. And that's what happened. Some people would say 6 months down the road, something would happen to them tragically, and then they would like, okay, I need to change my life. They would open up the book and then start going into the process of success. So that was fulfilling. Then I decided to become a speaker, changing people's lives. Now I started off motivational speaking. Then I realized that I can only motivate people so much. I need to teach people how to make money so they can actually have freedom. Like, you can be a motivated dummy where you're like, oh my gosh, let's go to the next level. And you're like, what do I do though to get to the next level? I don't know. So part of it was the motivation and personal development. Then recently, over the last year, I actually transitioned into give people actual systems and techniques and tactical responses in order to increase the finances in their business and increase their marketing strategy, so that way they can actually have financial backing to change their life.
Wow. It is very rare that I have a guest on the show that just flows through. I mean, you're an incredible speaker. You're connected to your heart. You're connected to your experience. It's very rare that I don't have to guide the interview. What you've done here today is just give permission across the board in a really, like, just get something done, right? Yeah. It's like there's so many people out there, and women. Let's just speak about women. You know, they're all up in their mom guilt. They're all up in their shame. They're all up in, like, maybe, I don't know, like, what's my calling? It's like, no, let's figure it out, because you're right. You can be a motivated dummy, but it's all about taking action, like actionable steps into what you want to create on this planet, right? And just, like, getting into it. Like, you didn't waste any time, right? Like, I mean, you, what were you, 18 years old, I think I gathered, making $1 million, or was it 19? Like, when did you break 7 figures?
21.
21. Unbelievable.
21. And you know, leaving the industry, it was like the industry was sucking me back in. And it's so interesting, man. Like, once you're clear, see, I got clear. And the way that I got clear was, there was a day where I went to one of the sales managers that ran the store. And mind you, like, we're all young. We're all like 18, 19, 20. But we raking in cash. Like, we raking it. We really moving units in the business. Like, there are times that, okay, 25 iPhones come in, you know, like I'm traveling with iPhones in the back, and I'm like, man, like, now I think about it, man, like, you see me, I'm wearing a hoodie with a backpack, and, like, little do you know, I would have like $25,000 worth of phones in my backpack. Like, you know what, like, no one has a clue who I am. I'm just wearing a hoodie, just going into the mall, and then I get to the mall, I'm like, what's up, guys? And I just put the phones in, and like, so I go into one of my sales managers. He's like 18 from the streets. But he's keen. He's like, like I didn't bring, I mean, I brought in some people who were like in the streets mentally, but they never worked out. It was the people who were in the streets, but like, it was a way to, like, that's all they knew. That's all that they knew. But they wanted more for themselves. They wanted the right lifestyle. So I remember I had this one dude where like everything was like messed up. Like driver's license was messed up, paperwork was all messed up, but his mindset was like, yo, I want to be able to succeed. Still to this day, like now he's running a successful clothing brand, works for $1 trillion organization. Now he's a leader in that company. I'm not going to say their name or his name for protection reasons, but I remember that, like that mindset. And I'm grateful that me going after my goals supported so many people. Like my second hand, he was working at Chuck E. Cheese when I first met him. Now he's a real estate investor. Why? Because like the experience led him to believe that more was possible. That completely more was possible. So what I have to share with your audience, Tara, is that what I believe and what I see is that each woman has a specific innate desire. It's not that your desire needs to be suppressed. Is that you have an innate specific desire, and your innate specific desire may not look like Tara's. It may not look like Oprah's or so-and-so. And what I see that's taking place is that there's a question, because there's so much information online as to who you can become, that if you're not clear on who you are, one day I'm going to be like Tara. Next day I'm going to be like Oprah. Oh, you know, I want to be like Michelle Obama, and I want to raise the next president in my house. Like, I should be like the doctor. I should be like my neighbor. And like you get this shiny object syndrome, and then next thing you know, you catch yourself at 52 years old, like, where did time go? And innately, you already had a decision. So here, I'm gonna give your people a strategy on how to do that. And this is gonna be chapter 8 in my book, which is called Values of Toil. That was the key determining factor that got me here, Tara. One day, I sat in my office. I went to the dude and I said, "Hey, man, what do you want in life?" And he said to me, I don't really know. I said, that's cool. Let's not get that specific. Let's create a list of values of our toil. Now, values is the standard or characteristics that we live by. Toil is the work that we do. So what are the standard or characteristics of the work that we do for our life? That's what values of toil is. So what I did was I wanted to describe the lifestyle that I was living. It wasn't necessarily what I was doing, but the lifestyle I was living and what the impact I was making. And in the book, I share with people like the step-by-step on how to. But I decided that, hey, I want to be free from inventory. Why did I make that choice? Well, in the cell phone business, I had to stay in the state of Rhode Island or I had multiple states. So I had to stay in those states because I couldn't leave because my inventory had me stuck there. So I wanted to be free from inventory. I can travel to any state, any country to do business. That was one of the things. Then I said I would travel. I wanted to say I would wear a suit to do business. Why? Because the boss wore the suit in my head. I'm coming from wearing hoodies and hoodies and jeans and backpacks of thousands of dollars. I'm like that's the lifestyle I was living, where I couldn't fold the money. Because one of the locations was a cash business. We put money in the safe. So I would put it into a backpack. I would put it into a tamper-proof bag that you can only zip once from the bank, and then put stuff into a backpack. And I remember like that lifestyle. And I remember looking at myself in the mirror like, yo, but you don't look like the boss. So the boss wears a suit. So I remember saying my industry or my business, I would wear a suit. So I kept on going. I kept on going down the list. I said, my work will be mobile from a laptop, and I could technically work on a beach. Mentors will be able to pour into me and aid my success. I can maximize revenue from one location versus multiple locations. Like I was clear on what I wanted. Because in order to grow the cell phone business, you have to open up more stores, more people. Hey, I said I could work in one place and maximize revenue. I got clear. Then what happened is when I moved to California, I got to LA. So I got clear within the 86 days. Of wanting to leave Rhode Island, the East Coast. I moved to Cali. it was an opportunity to become a speaker. I looked at back at my values editorial list. I said, check, yep, I can travel. Check, wear a suit. Check, mentors were important to me. Check, I am the owner of the company. Check, I can maximize revenue from one location versus multiple. Check, I'm inventory free. I said, yo, I said, does it make an impact where I can teach, support the world? Check. I said, this is it. I'm done. I found it. I found what I wanted. And then I committed to become the best in the industry in my lifetime.
And you're on your way. I know you're on your way. I'm getting that book. And we're going to put the link in wherever the link is going to go in here on the podcast, or I think I might actually send this out. So check in your email as well. I'm getting that book. I cannot wait to read. What's it called? It's called
NoMoreAverageBook.com. NoMoreAverageBook.com. That's again, NoMoreAverageBook.com. 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 Man, I'm an exceptional marketer. People are just gonna remember that sound, man. NoMoreAverageBook.com.
You guys gotta follow this guy. You crack me up. Andy, you've inspired me. You've empowered me. I'm so excited to be in your community, be around you more, and come to one of your events. So we didn't get to touch on it a lot, but I really recommend, if you are listening to this podcast, check out Progression Conference. Maybe you can speak on Andy's stage. Check him out. Thanks for listening. We'll see you on the next episode. See you later.
Thank you so much, Tara.